Welcome to the second video in our series on finding reliable health information online. My name is Jamie Bloss, and I am a health sciences librarian at East Carolina University. In conjunction with a grant from the National Library of Medicine that is a partnership between ECU, NC State University, and Student Action with Farm Workers, we wanted to bring these trainings to you to help reinforce and even expand your knowledge of how to find reliable health information online. We wanted to give a huge thank you to all the outreach workers who participated in focus groups with Catherine LePrevost and her team at NC State. Without you, these trainings would not have been possible. A Spanish language version of each video is also available. We took the topics for this video series directly from information concerns and questions that folks had in the outreach worker focus groups. One focus group participant shared what it is like looking for reliable health information for farm workers online. They said, "We want to make sure that we're getting is based in research. We don't look at every ad that comes up on the computer because sometimes it can be false information. We also look at our standards, policies, and procedures to see what our providers are using as far as different topics, especially hypertension, blood pressure, what their guidelines are, and some of the websites that they pull actually for their education that they give their patients in the clinic." A big thank you goes out to everyone who participated and gave us the ideas to film these training sessions. Today, our learning outcomes are to be able to list some free and reputable health information websites and to find information on health conditions on a variety of websites. First, we will look at some government resources. The first and most important site is medlineplus.gov. It's a great place to start your research, and it contains handouts and pamphlets as well as information in English and Spanish. So let's look at medlineplus.gov. So here we can do a search for hypertension. And then you'll see some topic overviews, medical encyclopedia articles, what tests can be done, information on drugs and supplements, information in multiple languages and PDF files. So this website really pulls together a ton of different information from other government websites and health sites that you can use. Let's look at languages. So here we can select that we'd like information in Spanish, and then we can click on one of the topics here. And then here you'll see all the information about high blood pressure in Spanish. And then here it is in English. So we've got the summary of the condition, research, more resources, and then there is a PDF file that you can download with the information in English and Spanish. So this is an excellent website that you can use to find a variety of resources on different conditions in both English and Spanish. So again, if you go to the site, you can just type in your search at the top, and then you can refine it by using these different results on the left-hand side. Next, we're going to look at the National Library of Medicine's website, HealthReach. You can use HealthReach to search for patient education materials in a variety of languages about diseases and health conditions and healthy living. So for this, we can just type in HealthReach into Google, and this is the first one. So this is a great resource for general topic patient education materials in many languages. So again, we'll type in hypertension because that's the type of materials we're looking for today. And then it will come up with a few different documents. It'll tell you the languages that it's available in, so you can see it's available in many different types of languages. Let's click on the first document and scroll down to the Spanish-English version of the PDF. And we're actually linked to the one we found through medlineplus.gov, which is great. These sites are both from the National Library of Medicine, and they have all of the information sheets. This is a nice one too because it also has in pregnancy, health and well-being 8, high blood pressure. So you can see those PDF. This looks like an audio resource actually. And we can look at what English languages it's in. So it's in English, not seeing a Spanish one, but that's all right. Let's see. We also have diabetes, eye problems, but that's less about hypertension. So I'd say your first best bet is to go to medlineplus.gov and then also try HealthReach because it will show you results in a variety of languages as well. We could also look for high blood pressure and see if our search results change at all, but no, we're getting about the same 6 documents, which is okay. Let's look at this one as well because we didn't find this one from medlineplus.gov yet. So this is a type of information that you could use or a handout that you could give someone on this topic. So these are 2 great sites from the National Library of Medicine and from the government that you can find patient education materials through. Next, we're going to look at healthfinder.gov, which is a great site to find information on some of the topics that you told us were important during focus groups. So healthfinder.gov, let's go out to that one. So the topics that they have health conditions that you can look at, different resources on cancer, diabetes, heart health, HIV and STDs, and obesity. So they also have some information on nutrition, physical activity, things of that nature. So let's look at diabetes because I know that this is also a topic of concern. So here they have a few different things. We can look at this one on eating healthy. So this one in general, they have different sections that you can go through, but this is a great place to find information as well from the government. They also have this health screening form that you can use. So we could put in our age, if we're male or female. We could say, ever used tobacco. I'll just check these off and see what happens and get results. And then this will actually tell you for a woman age 40 what tests are recommended, what things that they might want to consider doing. So that's something that you could recommend to a patient to use as well, is to, see, should I be getting my flu vaccine, getting a well woman visit every year. So this just gives you some general recommendations about what types of tests and things that someone might want to get just to maintain their health. And then there's also the browse topics up here that they can look through. All right, so we've covered medlineplus.gov, NLM's HealthReach database, and healthfinder.gov. Lastly, we have health.gov, which is a site that's more directed at a healthcare worker or an outreach worker. So you're not going to find as much information that's directed at patients here, but it gives good information on food and nutrition, physical activity, and health literacy. Health.gov highlights health guidelines and initiatives put forth by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The website is definitely catered to more of a healthcare professional than for the general public. However, it has guidelines for common questions and a general overview of various health conditions. So let's go to health.gov and look at that. So for example, we could look at food and nutrition, and we could download a copy of the current dietary guidelines, which we could use then in our practice. So we can download that here as well as other information as well. There's also information on health literacy initiatives, physical activity guidelines for Americans, and healthcare quality initiatives that you can check out from health.gov. Okay, now I wanted to share some also reputable nonprofit websites and organizations. The Mayo Clinic site, which we discussed in the previous video, allows you to type in a condition and find an overview of any condition. It also features information on when to see a doctor and how to prepare for your appointment. Let's look up high blood pressure on this site. So here we can look at many different diseases and conditions, and I'll type high blood pressure, and we can click on the first result. And then this will give you an overview, symptoms, when to see a doctor, causes of hypertension, which there's many different causes, what are your risk factors, any complications that you might have, and then you can just click on these tabs at the bottom to go on to the next topic. So they have diagnosis and treatment, medication. So you can just go and look at any health condition here and look at the lifestyle and home remedies, alternative medicine, and coping and support. So I think that they have really good overviews on different health conditions. I think it's a maybe better consumer health resource than some of the other things that are out there. So if you've already checked on medlineplus.gov and HealthReach, you might be able to find some reliable information here. Next, we can look at health.harvard.edu. This is a great site with lots of articles and information. Some of the information is free, and some will have a little lock near articles. So if you can see, this one is a free article. This one has a lock, so it's not free without a subscription. You can also sign up for their free e-newsletter to go to your email. So even though some of the articles we're not going to be able to look at without a subscription, many of the articles are free and can be really useful. These articles are consumer specific and written to be easier to understand. So let's also look up high blood pressure here. So let's try this one. So this is from the Harvard Heart Letter, and it's published in January 2019. And then we can see the full text of the article here. So I feel like these articles from health.harvard.edu, they're a great way to stay up to date on different things, and they're more directed towards a consumer's level of being able to read and understand the information. So this is a good source as well. Lastly, we have the Community Guide. And the Community Guide is a collection of evidence-based findings of the Community Preventive Services Task Force. It's a resource to help you select interventions to improve health and prevent disease in your state or community. You can find resources on the site such as health topics with the task force findings. So for example, if we go to topics and let's click on oral health. So you can see all of their reports on different interventions. This guide provides you, as a clinic or an outreach team, insightful program ideas and education topics specific to your area. So I highly recommend to go to this site. This is not, again, directed at the consumer level, but this is a place that you could look for interventions to use in your area. So let's also look at diabetes. And we can look at different comprehensive telehealth interventions to improve diet among patients with chronic diseases. That one looks really good. It's about cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And then they will give you a rundown of the intervention, what the task force found out, considerations for implementation. So this can be a really helpful website to look for interventions. So hopefully some of these websites that we've shared today will be helpful to you. And we've already shared a list of farm worker health education materials, which you can find here. So we really encourage you to go to our Dataverse at dataverse.unc.edu/dataverse/farmworkerhealth. And we already have a list of vetted patient education materials there that you can click on to get the links on a variety of topics. But if you're still finding a lack of information, please check out some of the websites that we showed here today in this presentation. Keep in mind, the websites I've mentioned here today are just some of the more reputable consumer health websites available among many others. Please use each of these resources, specifically medlineplus.gov. You can also contact me or your local librarian if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching.